So here we are with episode 8 of the many sides of voice actor radio. Last episode, Yubisaki outed herself as just a cute little tsundere, and if you know me, once I find out that somebody's a tsundere, all sins are forgiven. That is the rule. Yuhi and Yasumi also managed to get through their bet with Yuhi's mom, although Yuhi's mom was being very generous with that event. Honestly, they failed it from like the freaking get-go, but whatever, you know, as long as Ms. Watanabe doesn't say anything about it, then it is okay. After many bumpy rides, we will just have to see what the world has in store for these two. So if you guys like the video, like the video. If you dislike it, dislike it. I do have my full length up on Patreon and early access in the YouTube memberships. Other than that, let us get started. Oh, they're just in gym clothes. Yubisaki? Oh, Asaka, Mire. Of course, that's why she always has a patch on and dark eyes. Really trying to accuse her of doing certain things. Just enter her room, enter her house. What, it's a mess? It's just a great place? Yeah, it's a mess. Damn, you have to clean up her room too? Sleeping, even with a cooling pad on. You know, I'm starting to feel like maybe she shouldn't have that on her forehead all the time. Look at that, you're sleeping and then you just get free maid service? Give her breakfast in bed too while you're at it. The royal treatment out there. Oh my god, I just dropped my pen. Oh god, they changed that. Oh, there was another "and" in the sentence, in the title, I mean. Wow, look at her waking up to a clean room. And breakfast? Well, shit. Damn, got her laundry done and everything. This is the life, bro. I must have worked myself to death. I've been izakai'd. Also pretty gay, don't you think? Have we heard this guitar before? I love this one. Very slice of life-ish. Where you'll be moving. Of course, good. Still going to the same school? The same stalker could literally just... you know, never mind. They're gonna shame them? Wow. Wow, the fucking fan war! Damn. All criticism of us had been forgotten, of course. They're too busy fighting with each other instead. Ooh, what's your audition? I thought you said fire soccer for a second there. Wait, oh, okay, they're... Y'all competing for... Sarko. Oh, that's the guy we see in the opening. Sarko. Uh-oh. She was practicing for Alicia. Well, it's the first time for everything. She just did an exhale. No lip moving or anything. Oh, that's Is that what? Wow. Well, maybe they want someone new and fresh. Ah, did the sound director hear her and just thought that? Ah. Okay, he's just like, I hear her. She's got the voice of an antagonist. She's got all that spite. Mmm. Rip. You're better suited to antagonist roles. Oh wow, kind of like you and Yuhi. Tomorrow. 10 in the morning! Wow, that's no time at all. Oh, better go in there and wing it. Damn, you're gonna have to binge through the anime? Or at least specific parts? That's important? Do your best for the experience. Damn, dude, no hope of her getting it. Since the recording, wow. About the audition? That's normal. What is she apologizing for? What the shit? So this is where you're eating. Damn, already finished with her sandwich. Damn, confrontation immediately. Restless or something. Why? Yeah, she doesn't know what you're thinking, so just spit it out. You're always pushing me. So she knows about... Well, of course she did. Consider that her dad is director. Wow! How? You're gonna be in there with the pros. And she already knows. Yeah, she wasn't the one who auditioned. Look, she gets to be in the same... Oh, she thinks that you're... The feeling of us being rivals, huh? Oh, come on now. You pushed her to tell you the truth. Oh shit. Look at all these pros. Uh-oh. The second generation. The first gen. Wow. Oh my god, I'm over here getting nervous for Sato out here, dude. Wow, that's really nice that they're showing the what's this? Like the picture board? The color board? The storyboard? God, dude, the fact that like they do this like for most part in like one cut. So this fool is the reason we have to pull back.
Utatane さん。はい。ちょっとガが。
She. Ooh, wow. That sentiment barely shines through. Now it's too muted. I have to go through all the retakes and everything. Working with the pros, it's hard. It's like your first day, isn't it? Like, Jesus Christ. Yeah, just gotta keep his notes and practice. Oh, damn, dude. Just to waste time. Get mad or cry? Or both? Ooh. Oh, and it's raining too? Even worse! And she's walking out in the rain, ruining your school uniform and your health. That is certainly a shot of her looking over a bridge. No, because you're too fucking tense! You're in a new environment! Alright, that's the end. Whew! You know, it's been a very long time since I've gotten to a scene where I'm just like... I don't want to hear this. I don't want to be any part of this fucking situation. I have to detach myself somehow. Oh, dude, that fucked with my anxiety, dude. Like, that feeling of not being good enough, being inferior, the inferiority complex and all that, fucks with you, dude. Also, fucking Watanabe is out here like, you gave me that performance and now you're giving me an excuse? I expected better of you. I'm over like, did you fucking see her when she roasted you? During the radio show? You know, like, you know how she is. She fucking hides her feelings. Both of you guys know that you hide each other's feelings. Hide feelings from each other. It's just that it's just that Watanabe herself, actually, it's a little bit more open when she's down on herself, while Yasumi... Well, actually, there's still a, because the problem with Yasumi, right, Sato, is that she still feels like there's a power dynamic between them, and so in this power dynamic, Watanabe has the high ground, essentially. So when she is down, when she's feeling, you know, sad and all that, and like Yasumi pushes it out of her, or even when she was feeling pissed or whatever, right? As Sato mentions to her. Sorry, I'm just switching their names. So yeah, you better know who Yuhi and Yasumi's like last name are. But even when like Sato does that to Watanabe, Watanabe is still able to let her feelings go and tell Sato about it because she has the higher ground, she has the higher position, so it's easier for her to actually say it to Sato. While Sato, when she has this feeling, she feels so much inferior than to Watanabe, and especially to like everybody in that fucking room in that Kamishiro anime. And obviously, I totally get it with like the other pro actors and all that, pro voice actors. Like, hey, we're in a scene filled with other veterans, right? And we're gonna get these scenes done, fucking lickety split and all that, and then some fucking newbie comes in and they're causing they're causing delays and like retakes and everything, and they're making us have to work longer. That's fucking bullshit, you know? Like, get her out of here. Let's go put another veteran in there who's able to keep on with the script a lot better. And even if they might not think that, that's probably what Yasumi is thinking about, and it's such a hard time. Anyways, all right, I'm gonna stop rambling about this. We're gonna go right back to the center. Alright, I wanted to read these tweets of the fans who are just calling out other fans. It's so good. This is a mushroom, and their at is purged man. This is why voice actors can't live normal lives. Shame on you. And so it's just pictures of the people in there. And so somebody is, what is it? Somebody retweeted this. Lying in wait for the people lying in wait. That's so funny. You're exposing our private lives to Beast Senpai. I would presume this is a high schooler? So they're angry. Or are they saying exposing our lives of like the person who's here at the school to take pictures? Good work exposing them. Okay, lying in wait, so it's the same thing again, right? Lying in wait for the people lying in wait. Okay, it's your fault for bothering this one says serves you, right? So for Yuhi and Yasu. I wasn't even waiting, but someone took my picture. R.I.P. dude. Just happened to walk across the school and you got caught in the crossfire. Rip. And so this guy says, isn't this a witch hunt? Which... Alright, so that was episode 8 of The Many Sides of Voice Actor Radio. Let me know what you guys think about it in the comments down below. You know that I always like talking to you guys. For me, I thought that this was a pretty great episode. Really enjoyed it. Riddled me with anxiety. I had to disconnect audioly. I don't even know if it's visually, but like audioly. I don't even think that's a word. But I had to disconnect myself from that, and just because it was too much to take. And whoo, dude, some good shit, dude. Some good shit. That's for sure. But as I was talking about towards the end of all of this with the power dynamic between Yuhi and Yasumi, it certainly makes sense, and especially with the way that Yasumi's feelings, especially her inferiority complex, was basically pushed to the side all the way until now, because we had this whole problem with Yugure's identity being exposed, and in turn Yasumi exposing her own identity because she didn't want Yuhi to have to go through this fate alone. She wanted to be there to help her and whatnot, so she was willing to set that inferiority complex aside for a moment, even though she still felt it, right? She was still sort of the person to instigate it before the big drama happens. But you know, that's just kind of how we saw that is Yasumi when she's angry, when she's upset, when she's feeling anything negative. She points at herself, but she doesn't want to admit that she's pointing at herself, so she's either putting up a mask or she is putting her anger towards somebody else, and this somebody else tends to be Yuhi, unfortunately, because of their fucking rocky and fiery relationship. So just because Yasumi has put her inferiority complex in the back seat for the majority of the show, it doesn't mean that it has dwindled away, right? Even with Yuhi telling Yasumi that she thinks that her voice acting is really good, and even in one of the scenes in this episode where Yasumi realizes that, oh my god, I thought that our rivalry was just a one-way street. I'm the one who's competing for her, but in reality, it might be a two-way street after all. She She reciprocates my feelings as rivals. But inferiority complex is one hell of a thing, and it's really hard to beat, especially when you're someone like Yasumi who kind of just takes it all in for herself, and she doesn't exactly say that to people. Anyways, before we get more into that, here we are with technically not the beginning of the scene, but this whole scene is just them coming on over to Mirei's place to clean up for her and to cook for her. And then they were supposed to do something else that I've completely forgotten about, but they were just there. I mean, Yasumi was also there to return her keys and all that, but honestly, dude, Mirei is out here living the life, dude. But we did get to hear the outcome of the previous event, right? The whole stand and stare event and whatnot. And I really enjoy that the fans were starting to get on each other. And because of that, they're too busy fighting with one another that they've forgotten why they were mad at Yuhi and Yasumi in the first place. I really enjoy that, so I really like that that's the outcome. Although, it seems like they say that, like, they're able to actually go to school without people, you know, waiting for them and all that. So they're much more able to focus on their work. Good for them, you know. With Yasumi being able to find more work, she says that she's going to audition for this one show that I currently can't remember, and she's trying for Alicia, and Yuhi is also trying for the same one, or at least Yasumi assumes she is because she's being silent about it. And at the audition, we're introduced to the sound director, Sugishita? Sugishita, I think that's what it is. Okay, so this fella, he looks through the script and he's decided that he's going to let her read for Sarko instead of Alicia. And, you know, even though you're out here training for one role, you might end up getting another role. So he's just out here just being like, okay, how she sound as Sarko? And so here is Yasumi, feeling a little nervous, but not as nervous as, like, when she's in a room filled with pros. She does this at a performance that Sugishita is like, okay, you know, maybe you're not good enough for Sarko. But maybe you'll be good enough for the rival of Sakuraba in one of the Kamishiro anime. So although she didn't get the role for Alicia or Sarko, she is getting an audition offer for the illusionary mecha Soldier Phantom, which is the show that Yuhi's been wanting to be on, and she is now on, and it's also the source of, like, the whole drama and all that, because she went to hug the director and whatnot, you know? So Sato's getting this offer, she passes it, and, like, dude, it's that feeling of, like, you feel not applicable for the job, but somehow you get the job anyways, and then they just push you straight into the job without any training or anything. Obviously, the whole training and practicing is Yasumi's script that she needs to work on, and, like, as, like, a voice actress and all that, you know, you technically already had your whole training regiment before. But it certainly felt like that, you know, like, you're applying for this job, they're really desperate for somebody, so they just take you in, and you're just in the middle of let's say it's a restaurant, you're in the middle of a fucking restaurant, you don't know any of the menu, you don't know barely anything, and, like, they're just like, alright, just go work, do it, you can fucking do it. And then as she's unable to do that, they're fucking criticizing her and, like, critiquing her methods and all that. That's what it feels like, you know, like, this whole ending with everybody here, with all the pro actors doing their job and whatnot. Yeah, it was giving me flashback to, like, the one job that I only worked for, like, a month before I just decided that this is not worth it. It gave me that feeling, and I'm just like, damn, dude, I haven't had that anxiety in a very long time. I will continue to say that the meta of this scene, where voice actors, like IRL voice actors, are voicing the anime voice actors, who are voicing for the anime in the anime. Yo, this is some Inception shit right here. I really enjoy that. But I also really enjoy that they're kind of showcasing the storyboard of all of this, with all the what is it, the marks and all that, the notes and everything, right? This is what it should be here, what this is, and all that. I really enjoyed that whole aspect of it. Overall, I just really enjoyed, you know, just being able to see, like, I would assume, again, kind of like a storyboard that they have for this before they go into, like, the full animation for it and everything. But also, they did say that this isn't until next year, so they are still working on this whole spiel. I mean, they should be. I don't know why. I'm just sorry. I'm just saying out a bunch of mumbo jumbo right now. So Yasumi got the part, and she plans on telling Yuhi about it because, you know, she just wants to make the comment of, seems like we'll be working together again. But Yuhi already knows, and this is the reason why she is, you know, feeling the way that she's feeling right now. We don't know what this feeling is specifically, but she is translating it to anger. So, you know, Yuhi ends up telling Yasumi. Yasumi's out here pushing her to open up and all that, and Yuhi's just whispering under her breath, like, this is why I hate you, or I hate this about you, and then continues to, like, opens up anyways. And of course, for Yuhi, the announcement that Yasumi got this new role. I mean, of course, you know, she feels, again, this feeling that she's feeling, that she's translating it as anger, you know, it's, and Yasumi's kind of seeing that as like, oh, she sees me as a rival. Okay, you know, like, she actually does see me as a rival. But with this announcement and all that, for Yuhi, you know, other than how it makes her feel, doesn't really affect her all that much in terms of her work. But for Yasumi, she is in a fucking whirlwind right now. She is a girl who has been trying to get jobs for this whole time, and then to finally land a job that is like way out of her pay grade, or at the very least she feels like is way out of her pay grade, or way out of her league, you know. It's way too much, and there's barely anybody there to comfort her, unfortunately. You know, it's kind of look like a ground of, like, you just have to pick yourself up from your bootstraps. And it's especially hard when you're in this sort of field where it's based on everybody's performances, not just you. Even if Yasumi gets, like, okay performances that passes by the sound director, if she has just a passable performance compared to everybody else's spectacular performance, it really feels like she is going to pull them down. After the initial recording, and when Sugishita is giving everybody some notes, when he heads right into Yasumi, right, begins to give her his constructive feedback. It's, you know, his feedback, they're pretty, honestly, I think they're pretty mild, and, like, I think, you know, he is just giving her directions. But she hears this, and her ears starts fucking ringing. Like, her visions are, like, blurring and everything. She's just ready to fucking faint because her performance is not perfect like everybody else, even though it really isn't. Like, you know, like, he just told Yuhi that Yuhi needs to do a retake as well. So, like, it's, you know, it's obviously it's not perfect there, and he wants a different take from Yuhi. Again, Yasumi's just never really had to be in this field and in this environment before, and it's just so fucking nerve-breaking for her, and it's very, very unfortunate that nobody fucking mentions it at all. And again, I get it as a veteran, like, if you're out here trying to do your fucking job, and then some noob is here, some newbie, and they're fucking up this shit, and they're wasting your time. I get it, you know? Some people just don't have the patience for newcomers and whatnot, and I mean, I've trained people before, you know, like in jobs and all that. So, like, I do have a little bit more patience for newcomers. I only have patience for them for, like, I don't know, the first month or two, you know, because I'm like, you're still getting used to everything. But hopefully by the first month or so, you will get used to it, and you'll be able to walk on your own without having me to hold your hands or whatever, you know? But again, right? In this whole field of voice actors, they might not have all the time in the world, and all the training that they have is much more individualized instead of a uniform training where somebody is coming in to, you know, train them and everything. So it's a different environment. Anyways. After Yasumi gets the feedback from Sugishita, who basically tells her, like, alright, you're showing your inferiority complex a little bit too much. Not that he's saying that like that, but it really hits her directly because, well, yeah, she does feel inferior to everybody in this fucking room. So when he says that, she's just like, oh my god, I can't believe I showed it. So the next time she does it, it's too muted, and then it just continuously she has to do other, have to do retakes, and basically pushing all these other people to have to do the retakes as well, to the point where Morty, no, actually Morty Cowdy is the other girl, but I forgot what that blonde chick's name is. You know, she got mad at Yasumi. It's just like, yo, dog, what the fuck are you doing? Get the fuck up and do your goddamn job, alright? Unless you're gonna fucking leave us with all your goddamn work. Which, again, right? Coming from her perspective, I get it. She's pulling everybody down. But, like, she's fucking new, alright? What is this, her first day on the job? Like, she... fucking... chill out, everybody. Like, you were once like that too, and unless you were extremely perfect when you started off, like, I don't want to hear any of it, alright? I don't want to hear any of this shit. And also, that is one thing too about, like, in terms of veterans, is that, again, I get that you'd be mad at the newbies for holding you back down, but, like, you have to also remember how you were in the beginning as well. Unless, again, you were super fucking perfect or something, and you just land your first roll and you did everything great, you were perfect from the get-go, then, like, I guess, you know, you're just so perfect, so understandable. But I think the majority of people started, when they first started, they fumbled a few times, and hopefully they stood back up, or somebody helped them stood back up. And currently, for Yasumi, there really isn't anybody there to help her. I mean, we had Sugishita later on in the scene who tells her, you know, it's okay, we still have a lot of time for you to get into this, but, and like, I do kind of wish that he tells her, like, you know, I got you here for a reason. I think that you're really good at being an antagonist. I mean, even Kagasaki had mentioned to Yasumi too, like, I think you'd be much more suited to antagonist roles, which, you know, I totally get. She definitely has a much more fiery personality, so, like, the way that she does her voice acting would probably fit more, which also kind of, like, goes against what Yasumi wants to do, which is she wants to get into that Magical Girl series, and she wants to play one of the main characters of the Magical Girls, I believe so anyways, and, like, that's a very opposite thing from, like, doing antagonists, you know, unless she gets to go back to Pretia, but, like, as an antagonist, I think that'd be pretty nice too. So after a bad day of work, Yasumi sees Yuhi, who was making the excuse of, oh, I was just talking to the director, my dad, and whatever. Although, you know, she could be doing that, but she was most definitely wasting time so she could go and see Yasumi, hopefully to try to console her a little bit. But Yuhi does not want to be consoled. And, like, I get it. Somebody of a higher position than you being like, oh, don't worry, silly girl, you'll be doing okay. Like, it's, she doesn't want that. And especially coming from her rival, she doesn't want that from her rival. But also she's afraid of showing weakness, right? When she sees that maybe Yuhi's ready to console her, she thinks in her head, right? Don't console me, before she... And then she puts her mask back on. Don't console me, because right? Whether she'll cry or she'll get angry, really depends. You know, again, maybe she could have done both, but I mean, we did see, actually, she did do both towards the end. She was just crying in the rain and yelling. And so with Yasumi putting on her mask, being like, oh man, that session was sure a total bust, but, like, don't worry, I have a lot of time, you know, ooh, being in a room full of veterans and all that, woo, that's a lot of stuff, you know? And Yuhi, hearing that, gets angry, understandable, but Yuhi is not the same way as Yasumi, where it really feels like when Yuhi, the both of them really cuts at each other when they get mad. So again, very understandable. And, like, Yasumi has done this to Yuhi before the big drama that Yuhi went through, right? But here is Yuhi getting angry at, like, the fact that she's putting on this mask, and again she says, oh, you gave me that fucking performance, and now you're making up excuses? I thought better of you. And, like, it really cuts Yasumi to her fucking core, because, like, in the other scene back at school, right, she had just come to realization that Yuhi does see her as a rival. So here is her rival telling her, I thought better of you, and like, you're making fucking excuses? get out of here, yo. Get out of town. I'm walking home by myself. See you later. You know what? I was going to say that Yuhi isn't one to pry even further, but I remember that when Yasumi got to that feeling where, again, she was roasting Yuhi, it was Yuhi who was basically asking her, like, what the fuck do you want, right? And she's just like, well, why are you being this way towards me, to me and all that? And Yasumi, even though she wanted herself to stop, she still ends up saying all these things because she was feeling emotional during that time. So I definitely get it, actually. Now, it's starting to click in my head a lot more why Yuhi gets just angry when Yasumi puts up this mask, because she knows that once Yasumi puts up this mask, it's not going to break. At least it's not going to break easily, because Yuhi has tried to do it before, but like Yasumi puts up a really strong mask. So she just, again, she's just decided to give her that 3 parting word and just left. And yeah, we've got the ending where everything is raining and she's just out here looking at a river, you know, like she's just, we've got this scene of just her standing there with the river going at full force because it's raining and everything, and it's just like, all right, you know, this imagery, we've seen it before in another fucking anime that involve idols. Oh, but good thing that she was just there to cry and scream about it, you know? Thank goodness. All I know is that the next episode, oh boy, that's gonna be painful, you know, whether Yasumi's coming back to the studio for another butt whooping, or she's going to not come, and she's gonna put herself into the room, into her room and all that, you know, feeling, God, all the words that's in my head, it's just not coming out right now. The only thing in my brain is she's feeling bad for herself, but like, who wouldn't? I wouldn't last in this sort of fucking field, honestly, like having to make my performance. I would never did. Sorry, I just keep dropping everything right now. Oh my god, everything is just dropping. Okay, I would never do this, alright? I'd rather have roles like Mire, where I just write scripts. But, you know, props for Yasumi, honestly, for continuing on. This is her passion and all that, and here she is in a big bump of her life, and we'll just have to see how she gets out of this. So, you know, all I can assume is Yuhi's gonna be fucking mad at her and just yell at her at some point in the next episode. So, we'll just have to see then. Until then, if I have anything else to say, I will write it in the description down below. Thank you guys for sticking around, and I will see you guys in the next episode.